Greetings, I am Live.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game
together.
Alright,
yeah.
so this question, I believe, is completely redundant, but we're going to see what happens when we push it, because who else do I want to talk to before we, Juniper and myself, leave? Yeah, like, why would you ask yourself that question in your brain at all when you know there are 0 other people to talk to?
Right?
It's ridiculous. But we are about to do the final boss showdown of whatever this is.
All right.
And I'm ready to leave. As I go hobbling slowly out the door, here we go.
Here we go.
No sense putting it off. We weren't putting it off.
No.
Oh my god.
God.
The behavior we were doing there was a learning behavior and was not literally, we're just putting this off.
Or you're just trying to connect with people.
We're trying to include everyone. Oh my god, it's fine. I talked to everyone that I wanted to. I gathered as much information as I could, and also just brought people in on the situation. You sound like you're not including people, like, again, like as friends very much. You're really just like, they are a resource. Mm-hmm. I'm just delaying the inevitable at this point.
Right?
It's time to do this. For the sake of my future, my dreams, my friends' dreams, and, Funtervention itself. Also, we go to the warehouse. It's late. She went to bed. It's a school night. Bye.
Oh dang,
No
bye.
one there. I nod to my roomie, and together, just the 2 of us, for some reason, we depart.
Here we go.
Also, we take the bus down there, the city bus.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Getting off to basically, in, a warehouse district to a, secret, basically, hangout in the middle of, the industrial, basically complex, just sounds ridiculous to do from a city bus. It's a short trip across town, and before we know it, we're standing outside Ghost Monsters HQ, a rundown warehouse in the bad side of town.
Okay, so you're telling me that there are gang wars on the good side of town, where we're from?
Apparently.
What? So, the stereotype that I'm used to is that gangs exist largely and pretty much always in the bad side of town.
The parts where there is less support and there's less infrastructure and there's less, community.
And there's more racism.
Yes, a lot more racism.
Or basically people have been forced to go in there, so they are basically stuck in what's considered to be the racist part of town, like where everybody's been excluded from the more white suburban part of the existence, because you haven't been gentrified yet, honey. You'll get there so soon if we can convince people to buy this area and not go, we're not following, pre-existing or basically old lines where they said colored folks only.
Yeah, we just pretend we're not, and it still kind of maintains nonetheless.
Like, damn. And I apologize, I probably worded that poorly with that's the racist part of town. What I mean is basically that's just where minorities usually, the way they go, that's where the minorities belong.
And there's,
at least here in the U.S. So.
There's this level of it's hard to describe how the housing market and how sales and community push people together, but I think if you are a person of color, you probably know what it is better than either of us would.
The hell yeah.
But we have definitely listened to the statistics and the standards for it, and it is harsh.
Yeah, so also, if you've ever had any experience, feel free to chime in on that stuff. We
absolutely.
Learning, and it's something that both of us try to do our own research on and try to look at, but we can't always find it because it's not always a common conversation. Like, so for you guys as kind of reference, both of us actually learned only recently in this year, due to especially the expansive Black Lives Matter movement in the United States, that apparently there is an incredibly common conversation that parents who are black or basically in minority communities have with their children about cops.
And about that cops can kill you. And specifically like black parents with black kids, but also in other people of color communities. Yeah. Of just going, what age was it when you had the conversation of cops will kill you or can kill you?
Or that you need to be careful of cops because they will look for an excuse to either hurt you or attack you.
And both of us grew up in such white bread neighborhoods and experiences that we had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, at all.
And
like, even with my friend growing up as poor as they did, and me growing up more in basically middle-class
really
America.
White.
Yeah, like, damn.
Like, I was in poor white world.
Yeah.
Alright, so I just have wooden sign, long since fallen off the side of the building, identifies it as belonging to Nostalgia Commodities, Inc. I still just love this idea that the 2 of you, dressed as you are, us in crutches, are walking down here essentially to approach a gang in their center of power, in their hangout, in their hideout. And we're just like, this is how we do battle.
This is how we do it. This place is a mess. I'd ask if a tornado hit it, but I'm pretty sure a twister would only improve the situation, which is not at all classist of me in the slightest.
Can you, think of a better place for a street gang to lay low? Odds are Deco owns the building anyway.
Correct! Nostalgia Commodities Incorporated is a wholly owned subsidiary of Deco's Palace, LLC.
I see. He's probably this whole building's a tax write-off.
So he's not just her patron and her father? He's her landlord?
Well, we don't know if she lives here, only that she hangs out here. We actually don't know if this is housing.
Yeah, like, I don't think that's not the same, so it's okay. And I don't know if that means that they're assuming, like,
but
or
also,
that she's assuming that she rents this place out to be able to play her games. That seems weird.
I was gonna say, I doubt that her and her gang actually pay rent in this place. And also, when you say landlord, I'm like, he's her dad. She probably lives with him. She's a minor teen.
Yeah.
Aye.
This just keeps getting worse and worse.
Parenting's a trip. Oh.
Like,
every time I hear people engage with, like, the real life experience of, like, parenting, and certainly my experience being parented, and knowing friends, you know, who are parented, because I didn't know any orphans. I only knew people who had at least a parent.
Right.
You know, and it's like, it was insane sometimes, the weird level of, like, power exchange relationship that happened, especially in reference to money and resource control. Even when the parents were genuinely warm-hearted, it was just really toxic.
Yeah.
Hang in there, Juniper. We can make this work.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Give it your best. I'm nervous, okay? But if anyone can do this, it's you.
Why are the two of us here?
I'll be here for support, but you should do most of the talking. I'll speak up if I spot an opportunity.
That might not be a good idea. You've been real bad at all kinds of public speaking, persuasion, conversations, giving advice, help, and support. Honestly, I don't want to be rude to you, but you've been real direct with me before, and we're agreeing to be more direct with each other as friends. You should probably keep your whole mouth shut.
Whole ass mouth shut. Let's do this!
Right, as long as we're in agreement. I sighed once, looking over at my companion. I'm sure glad I'm not going at this alone. I'm nervous for sure, but I know what I have to do. I settled down on my crutches, armpits rested on the padding, as I prepared to enter the belly of the beast.
Hey, listen!
Are we gonna knock, or, Iris? Kind of about to be in the middle of something here.
I know, and I've spontaneously reprogrammed myself to include a new measurable metric which should be useful for your mission. I call this the incredibly right indicator of success.
Or Iris, for sure. That's cute.
Hey, when you have an acronym ready already, you may as well use it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start analyzing Sue's vocal patterns once you step in there to determine how close you are to convincing her. That way, you'll know if you're on the right track, or if you need to try something different. Let's take a look at your current score.
Oh dear. You know, this conversation and Juniper just listening being like, your Iris is so fascinating.
Wow!
I think I have a crush on your Iris.
It's so cute. Currently, you have a 0.0 chance of success.
Yay?
Well, okay, that's probably a bit disheartening, but think of it as, like, if I walked away right now, I'd fail miserably, instead of, I'm doomed, doomed, doomed. But speaking of doomed,
Oh,
well,
sorry. Well,
since there is a chance you can actually fail this time, rather than be assured you can mumble your way through the problem, would you like me to back up your data first?
Oh, do you want to save the game in case you fail?
Do you want to just save it, or do you want to just say fuck it?
I mean, honestly, the thing is...
Because we'd have to also do a lot to get back to this point.
Yeah, we can go ahead and save here.
I
was just saying, but the thing is we're not going to be coming back here on screen, because whatever we do, that is what this character would do.
Yes.
Even if we don't like it. And the thing is like, so we recently played a game, and I've mentioned it a couple of times here, because it's what we've been streaming on the weekends, called Meeting in the Flesh, which is a very, very different dating game than this. Like, wildly so. But it is still that same kind of, like, multiple choice dating game, you know, visual novel, you know, semi-linear, right?
Right.
And the thing is like, in it, there is this really strong experience of, there's not really success or failure, but that your different choices just give you a different experience in life.
Right.
And one of the neat things about it, of if you don't choose any of the romance paths, or if you say no when you're faced with a, hey, do you want to romance harder in these cases, where if you basically turn down the partner opportunities, is that you get this experience of just each of your life choices just makes a different path for you.
Right.
Nothing is specifically a critical failure or the most amazing important success. They're just different experiences with different value and importance.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that sort of almost zen approach to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it made me feel like the whole game made me feel very comfortable despite its thematic experience.
Right.
Like, because it is dark and, you know, basically a horror setting.
Right.
If you will. I would say, but
it was very comfy horror.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said setting, not theme, you know. Not really, like, it's not a horror tone at all.
Right.
But it is a horror setting.
Right.
I would just say, and the thing is like, in there, like, I really like the idea of approaching your life that way and going, like, yes, while things suck, they suck. You don't deserve them to be sucked. The trials aren't there to make you a better person. There's no one karmically afflicting you with things. I don't believe that, to make you a better person, because I don't think people learn best through pain, and I don't think inflicting pain on people is an appropriate way to teach them.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a philosophy I agree with. But I do like the idea of going, if I missed an opportunity, it wasn't like, oh God, I missed an opportunity, so much as going, that would have been a different path in my life, and I'm doing something different now.
Right.
And it's kind of a neat way to approach it. Not like you have to approach things that way, but it takes a lot of the pressure off for me.
Mm-hmm.
And just going, everything is its own unique, independent, powerful experience.
Right. But also at the same time, too, I find this to be interesting because for me, I'm going, okay, so you're going to basically now try to heavily encourage almost a metagaming experience. Mm-hmm. You're now going to pick options that don't sound like your character or you, if you were even trying to play you, you're going to be trying to just win. Which sounds awkward.
And that's one of the weird things to me is the game seems to have dug further and further into metagaming as we've gone along. Now, obviously, Iris was talking to us, the players, at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and in between the chapters, she's been talking to us, players. I'm not even sure what Lies is at this point, other than a weird vehicle to a story, but we're treating the story like it's really important to our actual life somehow.
Yeah.
So, like, we're treating it like it's Lies Scandal in the game, real life, actual story,
right?
And that they are trying to make really good decisions for themselves to end up in a happy place that they'd want to be in and value their own choices,
right?
But that we are supposed to be doing that for them, as we are aware that it will also affect us, and we have a gaming experience to be responsible to. And it's like the priorities feel all over the place for me.
Yeah. You are ready to proceed. Good luck.
Taking a deep breath and wondering what that whole save my game thing was, because she was actually talking to me at that point rather than you guys. This one time we weren't out in the chapter screen.
No,
and she
weren't.
was talking to us where Lies could hear her, which is fascinating. I wonder if that gave Lies a real meta experience. And suddenly I'm in Who Killed My Father Academy going, meta whoa.
Meta whoa.
Meta whoa.
Wow. Which was also a really good game. So if you guys haven't played Who Killed My Father Academy, deeply recommend it. It was really fun, really interesting.
We have the whole stream up on our channel if you want to get an idea of what you're in for first. The art is not like high budget art, but it really works for the game.
Yeah, which is, and it really does grow on you. Like, again, I understand that it's not always up to everybody, like, everybody's preference.
Some people want more of a solid and clear visual experience, and there is room for interpretation there.
Absolutely.
But I loved it. All right, I swing my way into the warehouse on my crutches with my companion beside me.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's the final showdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. God,
Whoa.
You know what? Those things, you could really use Naomi in here.
Wow.
Because holy crap, she could give some love to these games.
She would love them. And also, might be, some of these have actually been spray painted, so.
It looks like a lot of them have been outside, decorated on their cabinets the way they intend, but also them, glitching out like this, error, and broken screens and stuff like that. Like, damn.
Yeah.
I wonder if these actually are the games he purports to destroy.
Oh, it might be. That's actually a good thought.
I don't know what I expected to find on entering the lair of a notorious game of cybercriminals, but a makeshift arcade that rivals my own was not high on the list. Additionally, bro, you could have knocked. Like, it is an interesting approach to just break in and have them suddenly see you inside their space.
Also, I'm like, how did you just walk in? People usually lock that crap.
Maybe they just think they're in such a weird, specific place, or maybe everything's tagged with the appropriate game symbols of you know where you're going if you know where this is.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So that they just don't go in. Who knows? If this is a dumping ground for a warehouse, or of a warehouse for Deco's industry, it makes sense, though. A place where old arcade games go to die. Turned into a playland for punks. You need so many power strips in there. Oh my god. Or like drop ceiling like power cables. Like, because working in a warehouse, there's a lot of times where they'll just bring power down from the ceiling because you have a concrete floor and you're not near any walls.
Right.
And you just have all these hanging outlets that everything's plugged into.
Honestly though, also my brain is just like, oh my god, the electricity bill of this place, where you just have games that are errored out and they don't work.
And are just running 100% of the time.
That's a little bit more than
like, well,
yeah.
Maybe that's part of how you do it as a working business tax write-off, that you show that it's using utilities.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair.
All right, a disorganized maze of games litters the ground floor. Poorly lit and barely functional. Juniper has no reaction.
Right.
Only some of the screens are on, and many have serious ghosting and burn-in. Wow, it is a maze! That's so charming, though.
Oh my
Like
god, so that reference? that reference, that is Pac-Man. Because
It
that's
is.
the maze.
They have really committed to their aesthetic, and they seem very close. Again, I am all for coming through the door, dancing as a crew, going, we're going to do this as like a West Side Story kind of showdown. Because again, I feel like I have pegged her, and I could be wrong, as this character of Sue, of going, you want to be included. You want to be part of a community. Gangs are a community. You want to have an identity. You want to belong to something outside of your father and outside of basically what you're supposed to be, if you will. And you're trying to find that sort of home and experience with your friends, which are probably really, really close to you, and also develop yourself as a leader because your dad's seriously into leadership as ownership, and you're trying to find your identity like in competition with him, but also parallel to him and outside of him, if that makes sense. And so I feel like if you showed up going, I am connected. We at the arcade are a family friend group. We are a community. We understand how to work together. We also have a sense of fun and theatrics, and we really care about what we're into. She would absolutely be on board of going, heck yeah, that's the kind of stuff we want too.
Right?
You are our kind of people. Not us, but we don't have to be isolated by ourselves, you know?
Right.
And I feel like her gang would get on board with that too. As for the ghost monsters themselves, all the games that are tipped on their side, though I keep worrying about the cabinets. I'm like, no, poor tippy cabinets.
Poor babbies.
I just, wow. But whoever set this up did it with a lot of love.
Yes.
As for the ghost monsters themselves, the good news is they haven't noticed our arrival, but apparently I've noticed where they are and that they're here.
Right.
As I look up, I can see them on the second floor in the catwalks. Whoa. Huh. They seem distracted. That's good news. The bad news? They're distracted because they have a visitor. Is Deco here? Yes, he is. How unfortunate. I have to say, Sue, I'm extremely disappointed in you. Also, her dad is excluding her from a community. He's saying, if you want to be a part of basically my family and my experience, you need to be a specific thing for me, which is exclusive because it says you need to perform for this or put down stuff you care about and parts of yourself. If you don't put down your identity to be what I want you to be, you can't be included, which is the opposite of basically community family.
Right.
It's hard to get a good angle from down here, hidden in the shadows, but it sounds like the old man's ranting at his daughter in his usual passive-aggressive way. Do we know he has a usual passive-aggressive way? I thought he was just indirect and threatening.
I just thought he was indirect and incredibly, like, vague and going, like, what are you even talking about?
He's doing a lot of, like, plausible deniability doublespeak rather than passive-aggressiveness, I thought, but maybe one and the same, who knows?
Yeah.
I could stay hidden and eavesdrop on their conversation, gather some more information, or I could announce myself and barge in on them. Both are risky, but I assume Iris will help me out with this.
Right.
But which makes the most sense for how I'm going to handle the negotiation we're about to have, though? How stylishly can you thump up the stairs on crutches with your shot leg? That is what I need to know for either approach. If you're going to do this and you're going to be like, hello, I need your attention, you need to be able to thump up those stairs with some suave, like you are basically, injured, action hero kind of thing.
Honestly, I kind of feel like Liza would be like, I need more information.
Oh,
Also,
I
I need more. Iris, record this.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's me. I was instantly like, why are you not having your phone up?
Like,
record
Iris,
this, Iris.
I need data. Also, Iris, help me around this maze. I feel like we would listen.
Okay.
I feel like we would feel like we need to be better equipped to the situation because Liza has made a huge amount of assumptions so far.
Yeah.
And I think in the way that some people do know that you've made a lot of assumptions, you just aren't checking your bias, so you assume you need more information.
Right.
You just don't think the information is going to contradict what you've already assumed.
Right.
Uh-huh. I motion for Juniper to stay quiet as we lurk in the shadows behind the catwalk, below the catwalks above. You should be out there doing what you agreed to do, not hiding away in your clubhouse. A clubhouse I pay the rent for, I should add.
Should.
You want to keep your little playground. Yes. Hard for me to do so if some competitor rises to hurt my bottom line.
Pay attention.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, Sue. I'm trying to explain how the world works. Pay attention. This is the sort of bowling over that we've talked about in reference to parents or adults approaching children's or teens. Children or teens. Children's. In this idea of going, I'm not really talking to you about the details. I'm just telling you what you need to do.
Yes, Dad.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but I could swear she said that through gritted teeth. Yeah, you think she's all on her dad's side, but we don't think so.
I don't think so at all.
We think he is a painful influence for her, and she is frustrated and suffocated. And there's a certain forced tone to it as well.
Am I not generous?
I don't ask for much. Him literally turns into Jareth. Poof. Everything I've done for you.
Yes.
I don't ask for much. I feel. I look the other way when you and your friends cause trouble. I bail you out of jail. I let you skip school as often as you want. I don't send you to a private school to get you out of my hair. I use you for my own purposes, but you have fun at it. All told, I feel I've been a lenient father who understands and appreciates his daughter's inclinations.
Whoa.
I have decided what you are, but nonetheless, I am able to accommodate that need.
Like you know the first fucking thing about me?
What was that? It's okay. We can hear it from down under the catwalks, but he can't hear
I
it.
know!
Speak up. I can't hear you. Of course, he's supposed to be very old. He may actually have hearing restrictions.
He might.
Alright. And don't look to your little friends. Look at me. Forced eye contact has always irritated me. Like, it has always frustrated me. Even without there being any, like, neurodivergence or stress or overwhelm in reference to eye contact and no eye contact, sometimes a lot of people use it as a control method of, you're being disrespectful unless you allow me to stare you down. And I think that, like, it's not, like, there's a level of, would you please look at me when I'm talking to you, because it makes me feel valued. And there's a difference between the, I am going to attack you with my emotional and physical presence from this distance by being intimidating. You know, anger radiates from them, what have you. I was just saying, and you must give your full attention to it.
Yeah, I've had that a lot. I got that from an ex-partner's husband, and that was fascinating for me sometimes, for sure. Because I have a problem sometimes where I really just start avoiding eye contact when I feel really stupid or like basically self-conscious, or I feel really guilty. Like I can't always look at people, or like sometimes the emotional intensity is too much for me. And sometimes I look away because I'm trying not to cry, or I'm trying not to have a reaction.
I'm
Because
trying
just
not to
listen.
be affected by the thing they're trying to affect me with,
Yeah.
which is their expression and their gaze.
And I've also had somebody else do it to me too. So yeah, like
it's a thing that I see a lot also though in management, and it's something that I've never responded well to. And when I say I've never responded well to, I usually just get confused why people are doing it. Like my friend has seen me in the workplace before where a big supervisor has gotten up in my face, postured at me, put their face in my face and yelled at me. And I kind of stare at them because what I'm looking for is problem solving. Like, I'm not resisting them. I'm not being, belligerent or whatever. I'm literally just going, you clearly have a problem. How can I solve it?
Yeah.
And so that reaction isn't desirable to a lot of people. They want you to cow, essentially.
Yes.
And for me, I'm like, you seem really upset. I'm more likely to do intellectual fawn of, I'd like to fix this, and it confuses people. And I don't know why I do that, but I always have. I think I've been around enough people who have chronic illness and run out of resources, and that behavior is, I'm not okay, that because my mom's had a chronic illness her entire life, and all the time I've known her, and she's had a lot of friends with extreme chronic illnesses, where you just don't know what their energy level is going to be, and that's been a lot of my experience growing up.
Right.
And so it's just, I think that might be where I get that from.
Okay.
Reluctantly, Sue's eyes meet with her father's.
But you know what? She'll have to deal with it in the next one! So thank you very much everybody for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We have some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And we're going to hit you with all the hard-hitting social awareness right in the end game here. And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!